All right, so part 2 of how are pharmaceuticals different from essential oils. I'm Rachel Gregg Howard, and I just want to bring the philosophical differences, the mindset between Western medicine and alternative medicine. And we're throwing essential oils into the alternative medicine, into the holistic medicine that's dealing with the whole man, body, soul, and spirit. If you go back and watch video 1, it talks about the spiritual differences between those two camps, and it's more than just prayer. So go back and watch that one. There's a real component there that is largely being ignored by Western medicine. But the philosophical differences between Western medicine and alternative medicine, namely aromatherapy, are also very, very different. And so why does this matter? Because the philosophy, the belief system that each camp has is going to affect what they create and how they approach healing. And within that, how do they define healing? Okay, so when we're talking about Western medicine, there's two things we need to look at. One, what is their philosophy? And two, how do they define healing? Okay, the philosophy of Western medicine is that if you can remove the symptom, you no longer have the problem. Okay, their definition of healing is no symptoms, no problem, right? And I like to joke and say, and secondly, they say that the cure, okay, this is Western medicine, pharmaceuticals, they say the cure is something different than the cause. In other words, don't go and look at the cause, don't get to the root cause of things to find the cure. You take a top-down approach where the cure is something other than the cause, and you put a lid on it, so to speak. You remove that symptom. And so therefore, if there are no longer any symptoms showing, you no longer have the disease or the problem or the condition. Now, take that to its logical conclusion, and this is a joke, but you'll see where I'm headed with it. The logical conclusion of that is, well, if I have heart pain and I have issues going on with my heart, if you remove the heart, I no longer have that condition. My heart no longer is experiencing pain. Granted, I'm no longer alive, but the logical extension of that doesn't make any sense. To just remove the symptoms does not mean that you're healed. And I like to point to the common cold as this example because you can take a pill for your headache, you can take a pill for your cough, you can take a pill to stop your runny nose, you can take a pill for your aches and pains, reduce your fever, whatever it is. You still very much have a common cold. You've just stopped all those symptoms, okay? Now, okay, great, there's no cure for the common cold. Let's use another example. Let's talk about headaches. If you have a headache, you can take a pill for your headache. But what is that headache really trying to tell you, right? Symptoms are really the alarm sounding that something else in your body needs to be addressed. If you take a pill for that headache, it might really be that you're in danger of dehydration, or that your blood sugar is low, or that there's something else going on in your body that needs to be addressed. So by removing the symptom, you're certainly not getting to the cause of that headache and giving the body what it is asking you for, okay? So the philosophy is to treat the symptom, and the definition of healing is that if the symptom is gone, the problem is gone. And so let's contrast that with natural medicine and specifically essential oils. The philosophy behind alternative medicine or holistic medicine that treats the whole man is, and especially with essential oils, is that we want to get to the root cause of a condition or a disease or a dis-ease, okay? So that takes time. And unfortunately, like Americans, we are like fast food nation. We want it now. We want to pop a pill and go about our merry day. And the fact of the matter is, it doesn't work that way. And then people try to take essential oils and they try to use them like a pill. Like, oh, I have this condition. Let me just use an oil and treat the symptom. Again, some of the symptoms can be treated that way, certain aches and pains and whatever. Absolutely, oils are wonderful for certain symptoms. But at the end of the day, sometimes we need to be searching out the root cause for that symptom. What is that symptom telling us? What is that alarm going off? What is that body system that we need to support? And that is where we need to take our health back from the modern medical system and put it back into our own hands and start recognizing our own body, knowing our own strengths and our own weaknesses. And when I do this, my body reacts in this way. When I eat this, this thing happens, right? paying attention to it. Whereas we have just sort of shoved it all off into Western medicine. It's their responsibility for our health. We just go there when we have a problem and they suppress some sort of symptom. But the problem never goes away. If you stop taking the drug for that symptom, your symptoms come right back again. With essential oils, they don't work like that, okay? We're going to use them to support our wellness. Now we're going to get to the root cause of something, and then we're going to help promote healing at that root foundational level, okay? So the philosophy is radically different, okay? One of them believes that the cure is other than the cause, and one believes that you got to get to the cause and the root ground foundational level and fix it there. And the oils, of course, work at that foundational level to bring healing. And then secondly is the definition of healing. When you're talking about aromatherapy and essential oils, they define healing as when it's healed. There's another way to say that. When the symptoms stop, certainly that is a part of it, but when the core cause, the foundational issue has been addressed, that is when healing really occurs. And so I want you to think about a plant and how a plant, if, you know, we know that essential oils are the immune system of the plant, right? Whether it's antimicrobial agents or antiviral, or they're fighting off, you know, disease or fungal infection or whatever it is, the plants, of course, are these massive chemical factories. They're constantly fighting, and they're always manufacturing chemicals to fight off whatever it is, X, Y, or Z, that is attacking them, okay? Now, the plant does not stop manufacturing and fighting and sending out these antibodies, if you will, until the problem is solved. But they also address the entire plant. And I want you to think about, for example, humans. Like, we have some sort of traumatic injury. It sends our body into shock. It stresses our whole body. It stresses our mind. It stresses our spirits. It stresses everything, right? So it's not enough to just treat the wound. We need to treat the whole entire body too and get it back into a state of homeostasis, which is like balance. Well, a plant works the same way. They are constantly producing these chemicals. So yes, they're going to go to the source of invasion first, and then they're going to work their way down and produce healing holistically to the entire plant. And they're going to help bring that plant into a state of homeostasis where it is balanced and healthy and well and alive again. And it will not stop producing those chemicals or fighting the good fight, if you will, until healing is accomplished and homeostasis has returned. Two completely different paradigms, two totally different philosophies. So when you're looking at Western medicine and you're looking at alternative medicine, or really aromatherapy, you are looking at a completely different paradigm of what are symptoms, you know, what is the mechanism that these things work, and then secondly, what is their definition of healing? And frankly, I find Western medicine, their definition of healing is not adequate. And I would think that you would agree. So those are two good, you know, options to weigh. So when you're talking with people about essential oils, that's just something to keep in your hip pocket, right? You don't even need to know deep dive the science behind it. You just need to understand the philosophies behind these two schools of thought are radically different. And so when somebody tries to treat an essential oil as if it was a pharmaceutical, then they get frustrated and say, these oils don't work. They didn't cure my cancer. They didn't do whatever. That's where you need to say, listen, here's the two different philosophies. And if you want to get to the root cause of X, Y, or Z, you know, condition or disease, that's where the oils are going to come in and really do the work. But they don't work like allopathic medicine. They don't work like Western medicine, where they're going to slap a Band-Aid over the symptom and take this top-down approach. Because remember, just because your symptoms are no longer present does not mean that the disease is no longer present.